This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today's video is brought to you by Ground News. In just a minute, I'm going to talk about an offer exclusive to my audience that really, truly, if you're into the news, I think you need to hear about. Listen, I hold in my hands, my hot little hands here, the lawsuit that you may have heard of. This is actually 7 pages of a 71-page lawsuit in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. 7 United States Capitol Police officers are suing many individuals related to the January 6th insurrection. And I want to read some of this. So what I'm going to do, the 7 cops are suing, and we're going to put all this on screen. You can see who's involved, their publicly available contact information. Donald J. Trump is being sued. Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated is being sued. Stop the Steal LLC. Ali Alexander, he's the Stop the Steal knucklehead who organized the insurrection. Brandon Stratka, he's the walk away dipshit. Roeger Stone, the pardoned pal of Donald Trump, who won't be able to get out of this. Proud Boys International LLC, because they're an organization. Enrique Tarrio, who is their dear leader. Ethan Nordine, who I don't know who that is. Joseph R. Biggs, Zachary Rell, Charles Donahue, Dominic Pizzola, Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, Thomas E. Caldwell, Jessica Watkins, Kelly Meggs, Alan Hostetter, Russell Taylor, Eric Scott Warner, Felipe Antonio Tony Martinez, Derek Kinnison, and Ronald Melle. Oh, and John Doe's 1 through 10. John Doe's 1 through 10 are also being sued. So I'm going to read a little bit from this complaint because I have found that separate and apart from the reporting on the January 6th insurrection, separate and apart from the things I've said, these lawsuits are written in a way that is so accurate and just cutting to exactly the truth of the matter that it's worth listening to. They really, really concisely put into words exactly what happened and what the problem surrounding all of this is. So I'm going to switch glasses here because I'm getting older and my eyes are quitters. Like the camera, very blurry. My monitors, very blurry right now, but not with these. You get how glasses work. Reading from the complaint. The 7 plaintiffs in this case are United States Capitol Police officers. Collectively, they have dedicated more than 150 years of their shared mission to protect Congress so that it can carry out its constitutional responsibilities safely and openly. On January 6, 2021, plaintiffs and their fellow law enforcement officers risked their lives to defend the Capitol from a violent mass attack. An attack provoked, aided, and joined by defendants in an unlawful effort to use force, intimidation, and threats to prevent Congress from certifying the results of the 2020 presidential election. Because of the defendants' unlawful actions, plaintiffs were violently assaulted, spat on, tear-gassed, bear-sprayed, subjected to racial slurs and epithets, and put in fear for their lives. Plaintiffs' injuries, which defendants caused, persist to this day. Pretty concise. I'm only going to read a little bit from this, maybe 3 or 4 more paragraphs. The attack on the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021, the Capitol attack, was caused by defendants. After defendant Donald J. Trump lost the November 2020 presidential election, he and the other defendants in this case conspired with each other and others to prevent Congress from certifying the election results through the use of force, intimidation, and threats. Trump and other defendants propagated false claims of election fraud, encouraged the use of force, intimidation, and threats, and incited violence against members of Congress and the law enforcement officers, lost my place, whose job it was to protect them. Defendants' unlawful efforts culminated in the January 6th mass attack on the United States Capitol and the brutal physical assault of hundreds of law enforcement officers. Many defendants in this case planned, aided, and actively participated in the attack. All defendants are responsible for it. Defendants' actions violated the federal Ku Klux Klan Act, the D.C. Bias-Related Crimes Act, and other laws. Racism and white supremacy pervaded defendants' efforts from the onset. Defendants targeted false claims of election fraud at cities and states with significant black populations, including Atlanta, 51% black, Detroit, 78% black, Milwaukee, 39% black, Philadelphia, 43% black, and Pittsburgh, 23% black, and sought to intimidate and threaten officials from those and other jurisdictions into overturning the will of the voters. They relied on the white supremacist groups and sympathizers to organize and hold rallies and to help plan and carry out the Capitol attack. Participants in the attack directed racial epithets at black officers protecting the Capitol. And after breaching the Capitol, the attackers paraded the Confederate flag. Still boils my blood. The attackers paraded the Confederate flag and other symbols of white supremacy through the Capitol's halls. Ringing a bell, MAGA trolls? Where do your loyalties lie, scum? As detailed below, defendants conspired to use force, intimidation, and threats to prevent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from taking office, to prevent Congress from counting the electoral votes, and to prevent the Capitol Police from carrying out their lawful duties. Defendants' efforts began in earnest in or about November 2020, when incoming election results showed Trump trailing Biden and Harris in the presidential election. Trump, in concert with other defendants, deliberately and persistently made and encouraged false claims of election fraud to discredit the outcome of the election and disingenuously incite outrage among his supporters. He and other defendants encouraged and supported acts of violence, knowing full well that among his supporters were extremist groups and individuals like Proud Boys who had demonstrated their propensity to the use of violence against those they regarded as critical of Trump. Defendants and their co-conspirators used a range of means to further their efforts and carry out their plans, including traditional and social media, speeches, and interviews. And then last paragraph here. Responding to Trump's calls, as Trump and other defendants and co-conspirators intended, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and other defendants planned and coordinated among themselves and with others to come to Washington, D.C. and violently attack the United States Capitol and law enforcement officers defending it. Among other things, defendants, including Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, raised money for, planned, and recruited co-conspirators to join in Trump's rally, January 6th rally, and ultimately to join in the Capitol attack. And it goes on for roughly 64 more pages, outlining exactly their culpability, their guilt in this matter. I hope that this goes places. I hope there is consequence, both civil and criminal. These people should be buried in debt for the remainder of their miserable lives for their attempt to overthrow the United States government, and in doing so, harming physically and psychically police officers, innocent people who just went to do their jobs. But the larger 30,000-foot view of this is that they attempted to overthrow the United States government. This wasn't a tourist event. This wasn't a happy family reunion, Michelle Bachmann. This wasn't a protest, Tucker Carlson. This was a violent, insurrection. And it is a testament to the United States of America that it's lawsuits that are happening and not vigilante death squads like in some other countries where the rule of law is not respected. This is the way we should handle this. But the Justice Department is dropping the ball, not moving quick enough. When we're getting civil lawsuits of 71 pages before we get to see any results, any fruitful results from prosecutions. That's a problem. I realize that we can't rush to judgment, but a speedy trial is a guarantee of our Constitution, a protected constitutional right. How long until we see something? This was January. We're at the end of the year, as shocking as that might be. We're rolling into September right now. I want to see some results, and I hope you do too. Before I wrap this up, a word from today's sponsor, Ground News. Whether or not you're aware of it, news outlets and advertisers alike financially benefit from serving you partisan, sensational stories to keep you coming back for more. Social media platforms encapsulate you in bias, forcing both ads and content upon you based on your personal information and prejudices. Where can you go to see through all of the slant and spin in the news, you may ask? For several months now, my answer has been Ground News. They are a completely apolitical news comparison platform, perfect for anyone willing to open up their eyes to the spectrum of viewpoints on a given topic. Referencing an immense library of over 50,000 outlets, Ground News gives you every possible facet of a particular story. What better way to see the whole of a topic than to look at all sides of it? Click on the link in my description below, ground.news/Dollemore, to download the free Ground News app and explore. Using their news blind spot feature, you will see who is covering what stories and who isn't. It allows you to encounter news that might not otherwise come up in your feed or on your go-to news sites. And Ground News is founded by a NASA engineer, so you can only imagine the attention to detail that has gone into their framework. Ground News is here to level the news playing field by giving you all the angles, not just cater to your biases. Join me by clicking on the description in the link below, ground.news/Dollemore, download the free Ground News app, and see what the future of news looks like. Thanks to Ground News for sponsoring today's video. Listen, I'd love to know what you think about this. You can leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you guys. I'd love to have you connect with me on social media. Mix it up on social media as well as in the comments of this video. Also, I would ask that you consider, if you're in a financial position to do so, you don't have to budget it in. It's not a problem. I would ask that you consider supporting my work here on the platform for as little as $2 a month on either patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast or right here on YouTube. Click on the join button. I always put my hand out like I'm getting ready to go down below the video. Click the join button below the video, whichever side that it's on, and look into what's involved. It's, $1.99. There's different tiers. I send out stickers. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate your support, helping produce my work. It's a beautiful thing. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.